What do you think?
I don't think that's okay, like, no.
Sure.
Aye, definitely.
Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Well, to be honest,
What if somebody was kicking a dog?
like, I know what you're going to say, probably, to be honest with you.
Well, let's go for it. What about if somebody's kicking a dog?
No, obviously not, like.
What about bullfighting?
No.
What about fox
I'm
hunting
just going to
badgers?
end up being a hypocrite here, like, that's what's going to happen.
I appreciate you really got it there, man. So the next question is, what about animals that go into slaughterhouses to be made into burgers and sausages?
I don't think it's right, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I definitely don't think it's right, I don't think it should happen, like.
it's wrong. Well, if it's not right, it's wrong.
I know it is.
It is wrong. So the question then is, what can you do about it? And I see it as personal responsibility because I would never harm an animal myself. I know you wouldn't either, and I'm not judging you, man, because I paid for it. I was brought up to think it was normal, needed, and necessary, and I had to eat animal products to survive. Complete and utter bullshit.
I know it is.
I haven't eaten animal products since I was 19. I'm in my mid-50s now.
Flip.
So you can survive. You can survive and thrive on it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then the necessity's gone. You can just eat plants. You can eat the alternatives, or you can. What's that?
You're not miss eating it though?
Man, I haven't eaten it since I was. I haven't eaten red meat since I was like 10 years old. I haven't eaten pork since I was 7. Gave up milk at 5. Just a gradual process. I was still eating chicken up till I was 19 because I thought I had to for protein and stuff.
Protein, aye.
A lot of crap.
No, I know you can get it from plant.
Man, when you go onto a farm, and I'm not saying all farmers are bad people, but intrinsically they are there to make money. So the animals are mistreated, and then
it's actually hectic, mate. I've seen loads of videos on it. It's sad, like, so it is.
If you go to a slaughterhouse, they go at a very young age. Pigs go at 6 months old. Cows go between 12 and 16 months.
Yeah.
Dairy cows get 4 to 5 years.
How long has a cow had to live, do you know?
Well, I knew a cow in Newry in a sanctuary who was 32. So they live to, in the wild or in the natural state, 25 to 30-ish. But we kill them, so we kill them at 12 to 16 months old. That's considered to be the optimal time for not giving them too much feed, but they're big enough that they make enough money. To go to a slaughterhouse to get a bolt gun on the head, hung upside, it's not even a gun, it's just to stun them, so it's a captive bolt, it springs into their brain. Well, it's to stun them. But the lines are moving so quick, man, that the guys miss half the time. It just goes into their skull, puts them off their feet maybe. They get shackled, they're upside down, fully conscious, not just alive, fully conscious. I've seen them. 40% of them, they reckon, go into the slaughter line fully conscious. Somebody cuts their throat, and while they're bleeding out, they'll cut their legs off and their tail, and then they'll put a knife down their back and pull their skin off. I've seen cows fully conscious looking at their skin hanging by the side, man.
That's mad.
It's fucking brutal. Well, there's the thing.
I know.
There's the thing. Pigs in this country, do you know how we kill them?
No, to be honest.
Gas chambers.
Is it? Oh, sure, that's not.
They say it's the most humane method. They used to do electrical stunner on the side of their head, hang them upside down and cut their throat. Now they put them into a carbon dioxide gas chamber, put them in a cage with 3 or 4 other pigs and drop them down in. Carbon dioxide's not like gas at a dentist. It's like suffocation. It's carbon dioxide that's in the air with oxygen. So they suffocate. Man, you should hear how they suffer. It takes about a minute and a half. You can look at it on YouTube. It's fucking horrible. I've stood and watched it, man. It's fucking horrible. It is the worst thing I have ever seen.
I came over to argue with you or so, didn't I?
Well, man, you're not.
But then I realised once I walked
most
over,
people don't argue with me. Do you know what's even worse than the ones being gassed? The ones that are standing in the line waiting to go in. Pigs are super smart, man.
I know.
So
I know.
fucking mega. Compared to cows and chickens and sheep, know something's wrong.
Yeah.
See, from the second pigs arrive at the slaughterhouse, man, fucking terrified. They hear it. They hear the screaming. So you see when they're in the line and they're next to go in, man, I have never seen animals as terrified in my whole life.
Have you seen this in person? Like,
Yeah, I used to do vigils and stuff. We did them at Carrow in Cookstown. Cookstown sausages, I'm sure you've heard of that. They gas.
Was that over here? That Cookstown? Is that where you come from?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it.
Yeah. So Carrow's the factory where they gas chamber at one end, and they come out as sausages or bacon products at the other, fully packaged. 4,000 in a day.
No way.
They gas 4,000 pigs a day, man. And then there's one in Ballymena, Cranswick in Ballymena, which is have you heard Galgorman's Orton Spa?
Yeah.
It's right beside it. Like, you could throw a stone to it. They're gassing about 2,500 to 3,000 a day. That's 7,000 pigs a day. When's the last time you seen a pig?
Never. No, I don't have seen a pig.
No, I mean a pig in a field. Never.
Never.
Yeah, because they keep them in shitholes, man. Every single pig is kept in filth and
I
squalor.
actually haven't seen it. I used to live up in the country, so I used to live up in Money Ray. Like, never seen a pig up there once.
Yeah. They keep them inside in pens. So, if I can tell you quickly, pigs, they're artificially inseminated, pregnant for 4.5 months. Now, the mother's sow will stand in a, used to be called a gestation crate, they're now called farrowing crates. Yeah. She'll stand there the full time of her pregnancy. A cage the size of her body, she can't turn around or walk, man. She can only stand up and lie down, so she's trapped there. She gives birth, and the wee babies will be put into a pen, about 24 of them, and they'll be in there for about 6 months. In darkness, they stand in their own shit, they're on top of each other, it's fucking brutal. I've been on these farms and seen it. Yeah, 6 months of that. First time they ever see the sunshine or feel the wind in their face, man's the day somebody comes and puts them on a truck and takes them to a fucking gas chamber.
What do you recommend? What are you trying to... Are you think everyone should be a vegetarian then?
Everybody should be vegan.
Yeah.
Vegan, man. I was vegetarian for a while.
What is vegan again, sorry?
So vegan is no animal products.
Oh, right. So like,
and it sounds really hard. No. Well, you can drink milk. You just drink oat milk or rice milk or coconut milk instead. Have you ever tried it?
Is coconut milk, is that this?
Starbucks do 3 different types in your coffee. Yeah. The nicest one's oat milk. See, oat milk and coffee, man, inside a week, slight taste difference. It's not worse, it's not better. Inside a week, I would argue it's nicer.
Coconut milk's nice, like?
Coconut milk's nice in cereal, like muesli and stuff. In the summertime, I use rice milk. Sometimes it's nice and sweet and light. But the dairy industry, man's the most cruel industry of the whole fucking lot.
I know, like.
Dairy, let me tell you the dairy industry in 30 seconds. So the mother cows are impregnated in a thing they call a rape rack. So they make them pregnant because the only time a mammal,
what did you say?
A rape rack they call it, put their fist inside them and squirt semen into them. What? They make them pregnant. Why do they make them pregnant? Because they're like human mammals. Yeah. The only time they produce milk is when they're pregnant or have given birth. So they must be kept perpetually pregnant.
The cows can produce
milk. No, see, when I found that out too, I felt like a dumbass. Yeah. So they have to be pregnant or have given birth. So they make them pregnant. They're pregnant 9 months like a human mum. The day the wee babies are born, they tear them away. The females go back into the industry and they'll go about 4 or 5 cycles of pregnancy and being constantly milked until they're spent about 5 years old. Guess where they go? Slaughterhouse. Being pregnant constantly is really hard on your body. Sure. And being constantly milked every day is really hard on your body. So they'll be spent about 5 years old when they could live to 30. The baby boys, what happens to them?
They get slaughtered, do they? Or they get
killed on the day they're born, most often.
How come?
So you know the black and white cows you see, the dairy herds, the Friesians, and there's red Holsteins and Jerseys are the milk. So the boys from those, they're much skinnier cows if you see them. Beef cows are quite small. Yeah. Dairy cows are quite tall and skinny. You see the ribs and stuff on them, you see their pelvic bones. They don't produce good meat, so they're pretty much worthless to a farmer. So they'll either be killed on the day they're born. Some farmers will shoot them in the head. Some will set them in the ground and hit them over the head with a spade or a shovel on the day they're born, just to get rid of them.
That's mad.
Because they're not worth feeding.
Aye.
Some of them, if it's summertime, will throw them into a field and they could get 2 or 3 months. Most of them go to market at about 10 to 14 days old. So Ballymena Market is probably the biggest one in Northern Ireland. And on Friday they have what they call a dropped calf market, which is the baby boys. You go there every Friday morning, there's maybe 500 or 600 wee baby boy dairy calves, man. I'm going to show you my phone, I was there last week, filming secretly.
Just all getting killed, like?
So they're in the market. If I could, I think I have it on my phone. Yeah, here. So this is the age of them.
Oh, flip. They are only...
They're about 14 days. Like? That's why you went over to the right here. We see all the age of them, man.
Oh, flip.
So that's one farmer.
Oh, that's grim.
That's one farmer. Well, one farmer has brought his in, they go into pen. There's pen upon pen upon pen, dozens of them, man. And buying them there are people who make cheap meat products, steak and kidney pie and soups. They go straight across into a slaughterhouse, man, have their throats cut.
Oh, that's good. Like,
fucking brutal.
It's not nice.
Some of them go to the veal industry, which is, veal pens are now illegal in the UK. You know what veal is? It's a cheap, or it's an expensive, fancy meat product.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So it's like steak, but it's very, very young calves, and they keep them in darkness with a chain around their neck so they don't produce any red blood cells for about 16 weeks, and then they pull them out and cut their throat, baby boy calves.
Is that meant to make them tasty, sir?
You're not allowed to do it in the UK. So what the farmers here do, because there's so many boys, they sell them to the veal industry. They go down to Dublin and Cork, they get loaded onto ships, and they go to either the Netherlands or Belgium, or some of them go to North African countries like Libya and Algeria. And they stand in a pen with a chain around their neck without being able to lie down, man, in darkness for 16 weeks. And then somebody pulls them out and runs a knife across their throats. The dairy industry's fucking terrible, man.
I know, that's mad.
When you can just buy oat milk instead.
I know.
Does that make sense?
Aye. You know what, I'm glad I spoke to you anyway, mate.
I'm glad you stopped, man. I'm going to give you a card. I'm going to give you a card first. So this is reverse psychology. I take some abuse for that.
Has no one else fucked up then?
No, the last day I was here, there's people ready for fighting until I explain it. But man,
I walked past and looked down and I was like,
I'm an animal rights activist.
Yeah,
I've been on farms, I do undercover stuff, I'm talking to people all the time, I do school talks.
Yeah.
This is a way of, I've loads of signs, but it's a way of making people realise they are against animal abuse. And
because if I had anything else, I wouldn't even come over to you. Like,
most people do not realise they're paying. If you don't have to, take the necessity away, then what's the excuse for eating an animal product?
just because it tastes nice, mate, to be honest with you.
Which is?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You get it?
Yes, exactly, mate. Thank you very much, mate.
See the one on the top here?
Sorry.
These are all good and just a free support and stuff. You can go on and look at vegan food and stuff. The best speech you will ever hear, it's a guy called Gary Orowski. He's a university speaker in America, a Jewish guy, doing a tour. Sounds as boring as fuck, man. I would have been, it must be 10 or 12 years ago since I watched it. Still on there, 22 million views. Yeah. Literally the best thing I've ever watched in my life, bar none. If you think I'm speaking some truth, listen to this guy. He just lays it out in 40 minutes. See at the end of 40 minutes that, man, I was like, what the fuck? I love animals, I wouldn't hurt them.
I know.
Why am I paying other people to hurt baby cows when I can just buy rice milk instead?
I know.
And people think it's dear, man, it's not.
It's not dear, I think I would just miss the taste. I know it may taste similar, but
well,
even just I just like meat.
Let me put it to you two ways. You can go into KFC and buy vegan chicken nuggets. Now, I couldn't tell you what a chicken nugget tastes like. I haven't eaten one since I was 19. But most people will tell you that the vegan ones are nicer.
Seriously?
So try them and see. The McPlant and McDonald's is the same price.
Oh yeah.
And most people say it tastes exactly the same. Greg's do vegan sausage rolls, which most people say is better than the normal one. It's the same price. So that's one way to put it.
I'll have to try it. I haven't tried it, do you know what I mean?
Try it, man. The supermarkets are full of vegan stuff.
Literally, I've never
full of vegan stuff. But it's just keeping in your mind that every time you go into a shop and buy an animal product, supply and demand. As long as people,
if everyone done what you're doing, they would have to stop.
Which is why I'm standing here.
Yeah, literally.
Which is why I'm standing here. And there's more and more vegans all the time, which is why these places are now providing vegan options. Yeah. 5 years ago, McDonald's doing a plant burger would have been fucking unheard of.
I know.
Now they're selling one because there's a demand for it.
I've noticed a load of vegetarians and vegans about the place, like, to be honest with you, man. Yeah. But it was nice speaking to you.
What's your name, man?
Carl, mate, what was yours?
Cliff. Appreciate you stopping, man.
Nice to meet you, Cliff.
All right.
All the best,
have a good day, bro.